Today we're going to be talking about Lemnis Gate, a tactical turn-based first-person shooter where you control up to 5 different operatives and face off against your opponent in 1v1 or 2v2 battles. Now if you're thinking, what? Stick around, because I'm about to explain this to you. What's up guys, I'm Blue Monkey, welcome to Capture the Frag, the channel dedicated to giving you only the most interesting in shooter game news. So if you're bored with the current shooter meta, join me on my journey to 1,000 subscribers, where I'll be uploading weekly and talking about all the upcoming games that are making a real impact in the shooter genre. So let's get started. And I do want to say that any references that I'm going to mention in this video will be linked down below in the comments section, as well as some other cool stuff if you want to check that out. So this game completely slid under my radar. I had heard of it and heard that it involves some type of time loop mechanic, which it does, but they just revealed the gameplay overview trailer the other day, and so I finally have a grasp on what the hell this game is, and it is absolutely sick. One of the most innovative concepts that I've seen in a shooter game in quite some time, actually, other than like Splitgate. But basically the way it works is you have 7 different operatives, and so does your opponent. And when the match starts, there's nobody on the battlefield. You have to populate the match round by round. And so you're gonna have 25 seconds to pick an operative and make them do whatever you want throughout the map. Now there's a couple different game modes, but the goal is essentially to protect your gate while destroying the opponent's. And once your 25 seconds is up, your turn ends and then your opponent goes. Now on their turn, whatever you did on your turn is going to repeat. So not only are they gonna have to try to complete their objective, they're also gonna be trying to stop your past self from completing your objective. And then once their turn's over, their actions are gonna repeat, and it's gonna go back and forth for 5 rounds until finally on the 5th round you have 5 different operatives in play, and you're really gonna have to take into account not only what your opponent is gonna do next, but how your opponent's gonna counter what you did in the past. So if you can't tell by now, this game is obviously gonna require a lot of forethought and strategic mind. So for example, if you take your turn and you go destroy an objective on the map, your opponent the next turn can come through and kill that operative before they get to that objective, thus saving it. And then you have the opportunity to either, on your next turn, try to kill that guy before your guy gets killed, or lay down some sort of trap. And you can also kind of think into the future where like maybe you're anticipating an opponent's gonna go for an objective, and it shows a clip in this gameplay trailer where he shoots his rockets at the objective when there's nobody there. And then the next turn, the opponent does go for that objective, and their past self ends up killing them with that rocket. Now obviously there's going to be a lot of things to keep track of in this game, a lot of different moving parts. So one of the features that they give you is that you can, when it's your opponent's turn, you're flying around in this little drone, you can mark important objectives on the map, or you can also mark operatives. That way you can remind yourself, hey, okay, I gotta remember to go kill this guy before he does this, or try to figure out how you're gonna intercept and get the upper hand on your opponent. Now what happens if it's your turn and you get killed before your 25 seconds is up? Well, you're actually gonna go into this ghost mode, because you gotta keep in mind, whatever you do this turn is gonna repeat next turn. So if you get killed before your 25 seconds is up, you go into this ghost mode and you just enact whatever you would have wanted that operative to do throughout their 25 seconds. And then on your next turn, if you remember, you can go intercept and stop that operative from being killed, and then they will continue out whatever you had done while you were in ghost mode. So there's actually 4 different game modes: Seek and Destroy, Domination, Retrieve XM, and Deathmatch. Seek and Destroy is your standard game mode where there's 1 team attacking and 1 team defending the objectives. Domination is basically the same too, where you have to capture the different objectives across the map. It's a little bit different though, since the game is going to end at the end of 5 rounds, so whoever has the most objectives controlled by the end of the game wins. With Retrieve XM, you have to go in, it says collect exotic matter and return it to your base while preventing enemies from doing the same. And then Deathmatch is your standard deathmatch game. Now I was under the impression that there was also only going to be 4 maps, but there's actually 11 maps that are going to launch out of the gate. Now the only restriction is that each map only has 1 game mode, but in my opinion that's probably actually going to be a good thing. It means that the battlefield and the maps are going to be catered towards the objective, and I think probably going to allow for a lot more smooth and just well-flowing battles. Now there's also different structures to your match modes. So if you're playing 1v1, there's the turn-based and the simultaneous mode. Turn-based, obviously, you're going to go first, and then your opponent's going to go, and then simultaneous, you guys are both going to be taking your turns at the same time. And now when there's 4 players involved, it actually breaks up into 4 different sections. You can see the first one is traditional turn-based. Player 1, player 2, player 3, and then player 4 is going to go, where 1 and 3 are on the same team, and so are 2 and 4. With teammates play together, you and your teammate are both going to put an operative on the field at the same time, and then your enemy's going to go. With enemies play together, one of each of the teams is going to go at the same time, and then the other 2 opposing teammates are going to go at the same time. And then lastly, with simultaneous, all 4 players are going to take their turn all at once. So you can see that depending on how you structure these battles, it could get very, very, very fast paced. And honestly, I'm anticipating kind of hectic, but I'm also looking forward to that a little bit. I definitely think this game has esports potential just in the way that it plays, but that all depends on how seriously people take this game and how well they market themselves. Now, apparently this game did get delayed, which I didn't know about because I basically just started learning about it. So no big deal for me because the game is actually coming out September 28th, which is 7 days from the time of this recording, and is selling for only 20 bucks. And right now on Steam, actually, they're having a deal for $16 if you want to pre-order it. So, but guys, if games like this interest you, I do have a couple more videos to the right for you. Like I said here, Capture the Frag, we're covering only the most interesting in shooter game news, only the shooter games that are pushing the definitions of the genre and making some real moves. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.